So whenever a fan base dislikes a movie, I'm usually on the same page. You hate Madam Web, I hate Madam Web. We're one and the same. One movie I've seen receive a lot of hate over the years is X-Men Origins Wolverine. And you know what? I think that movie is a masterpiece, an Oscar contender, an earth-shattering work of art. Nah, it still has a lot of problems. And yet this movie still has a special place in my heart for some strange reason. I recently watched the original X-Men trilogy and followed that up with X-Men Origins Wolverine, and for some reason I was more invested in Wolverine in this movie than I was in the X-Men trilogy. And don't tell me that it's because he's the main character of this one. He was the main character of all the X-Men movies, if we're being honest. I found myself more invested in the story of a man seeking vengeance, which ultimately leads him to becoming a hero by the very end. And then he loses his memory and none of it meant anything. But, the CGI is good. Wait, no, that sucks too. Why do I like this movie? The fight scenes are goofy, Deadpool became that dude from Mortal Kombat, and the movie completely messes up the canon that was previously established. Also, there's no real resolution besides William Stryker getting temporarily brainwashed. He just walks for a really long time. I think he'll recover. So why do I like this movie? Then I remembered every moment that screamed 2000s comic book movie. This was the last goodbye of an era where we accepted these kinds of comic book movies. Because this was near the beginning of the MCU and the DCEU, which people took seriously. What I noticed about this movie is that it embraces the craziness. When was the last time you saw a shot of somebody walking away from an explosion in slow motion? It's so ridiculous, but I can't help but enjoy the absurdity. It makes me want to crack open a Bud Light and listen to Nickelback.
Prison gates won't open up for me. On these hands and knees I'm crawling.
This sort of thing wouldn't slide today, so I think it's important to enjoy it when it does. Normally, I want to watch a comic book movie where I don't have to shut my brain off and focus on a well-written narrative. But this is the one exception. But if I had to describe what my favorite thing is about this movie, it's probably the characters. Obviously, Wolverine is his usual self, and Hugh Jackman delivers as he does with each movie where he plays this character, but I found myself really enjoying the other mutants. Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth is a show stealer, and he genuinely feels like the only person that could play the brother of Wolverine. Every time he's on screen, you can really feel his presence and how terrifying he is. I almost wish this movie was canon so we could have seen more of this version of Sabretooth. The intro where we see these two brothers fight in every war was awesome to see, and it was a great way to display their powers and the bloodlust of Sabretooth, and just everything that they had been through. It really sets up the story and gives you a true idea of why Wolverine wants to retire. The Blob was stupid, and yet I found that scene to be so entertaining because, you know, he's fat. It's funny. And Will.i.am is... well, he basically plays himself, and you know what? I don't mind it. This movie needed the Black Eyed Peas to remind us that it was in the 2000s. Even though Wade Wilson was only in this movie for a brief period of time, Ryan Reynolds showed us that he was born to play this character even if they ruined him by the very end. Just the first 20 minutes of the movie with him in it is honestly just so entertaining. But the character I really enjoyed was Gambit. I personally like Taylor Kitsch's portrayal of the character. His abilities and persona make a unique X-Men, and I wish we saw more of him. He kind of brought a similar personality to what he played in Friday Night Lights, and I think that was perfect for the character, but he also added the cockiness of Gambit. Look, this movie on paper is bad, and I mean really bad, but I just can't help but enjoy it. It's stupid fun despite the moments of utter tragedy. It embraces the absurdity and makes for a really fun comic book movie. I truly believe this was the last cheesy 2000s comic book movie that worked. I might be in the minority on this, but I think X-Men Origins Wolverine is a classic. It obviously isn't better than the Wolverine or Logan, but it works as a fun solo movie. Let me know what your thoughts are about this one. Did you enjoy it as much as I did, or is it a heaping pile of dog shit? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So, yeah. Bye.